Hello. Welcome. That worked fairly well, I think. Right? I think it did, except for the creaking of the microphone stand. But the micro stand usually creaks. And yes, if you couldn't tell, the archives will be deleted on Twitch. So starting, starting with the Monday, not this coming Monday, but the Monday after, so there's another week grace period, I'll delete the Twitch archives as soon as I've downloaded them. So in that case, if you want to watch the archive, please do so on YouTube. Thank you very much. So, Marky was here a little over a quarter of an hour ago and said, hello. Hello. And now, yes, Kangafango, hello, Lisa. Nice disclaimer, Sharonise, thank you. Want to see it again for a second? There you go. I know there was a little bit more than a second, but yes. Right here, yes, hello. Hold on, let me real quick go punch the router. No, we need the router, otherwise what would happen to our roots? No, we need the router. What's the router ever done to you? Good point, probably. Okay, I've set it back down to 3 kilometers. Last time, well, we made progress here with the roads. We figured out this really quite difficult to make intersection. We figured out exactly how we're going to make the road go up to the bridge and then come back down, and also a bit of what we're going to do over here. So, stuff that I want to do now. I want to connect this street over with this bridge, and I also want to connect it over with this bridge, and then I want to make the road go up and down to meet this bridge here on those 2 directions. Although, saying that, I may not even want it to go down that way. Maybe it would be enough to just have it go straight down and then have it branch off from there and come back around. I think that's probably going to be better. Or we could have maybe a little intersection up here where it goes straight and over that way, because then I can still put houses along here and it would be less work to do. So let's do that. Not giving me proper internet. I paid some real money for that damn Starlink antenna. I mean, maybe you should switch to glass fiber. Right, so let's get started with this. I know that I will want the intersection here, of course. However, I'm going to make this go straight first, like go straight past it. I'm just going to extend it to there, and then I can add in spline points where needed in the straight section, which is going to make it much easier to work with. I still offer the following opinion. I don't believe violence is the key here. If you punch the router, it may not wish to provide any internet. What's that? What are the chances of that happening? That's why I have a deagle. A deagle. Is that some sort of a cross between like a bagel and a bald eagle, maybe? Right, so over here. We do have the pavement problem. So what if I use this one? I know that this one's a little wide. However, it might still work, because I think using the one wide one is just a little too narrow for such a heavily used bridge. So if I increase that slightly, Well, that was a bit too slight. Okay, 4.6, which means, so that's 4.6, that one was 4.5, which means that it's 0.1 above, which means that this needs to be 16.01. That needs to be applied to this point. I'm just trying to see if this is even feasible. And then this height should be the same as on the other side. Actually, it's not. Okay. I'm going to increase that to, no, not 3, 6. There we go. So now if I just line these up right, well, not necessarily upright, but up correctly, then theoretically, this should being the operative word, work. Let's, actually, was that already good? I think that was already good. Classic. Little juice in the right spot. a bagel. I think you meant beagle. No, I meant a bagel. Or, there, smooth internet. Well, I am surprised that that worked. Also, this does need to be raised up a little bit more. So let's try another 0.24. So that is just about intersecting there. So plus 0.24. Actually, no, that didn't work because, yeah, it doesn't tell you how much you change it by. So that was plus 14 in reality. That one seems okay. So this one, right. Let's try something like that. That's a little too much, I think. Or maybe that's good. So, okay. It does actually, I mean, it looks a little odd because of how narrow the left lane is narrower than the right lane. However, if I added a barrier or a fence here, like a bar fence, that might actually work quite nicely. Although I need one that's, well, not made of wood, and that's also quite smooth. There's a guard, things. Actually, if I look for fence as well. Barbed wire, nope. Oh. Nah, that's wood as well. Plus I'd want one that has a railing. Maybe if I look for railing, maybe that would be a better idea. That's all barbed wire. No, not a crash barrier. I might go with a crash barrier afterwards. Also, hello again, Marky. I'm currently looking for a fence, basically like a railing fence. Blue railing, this one? Maybe. Let's see. Let's try using the same height as the fence. because I want this to, if you just look at it at a distance, or as you're driving along here, just in the distance, I want you to be able to recognize that pedestrians can actually go across here. And that's easier done if you see a fence with a, like, that has a railing. Because if I were to have a crash barrier here, then you might not associate that. Now, how does that look? If you imagine that it's attached to this sort of road here. Actually, I quite like that. Looks pretty good. Although that could be moved over slightly so that it's not actually taking up more space than it needs to. So to there, that's all good. So, chat. Smooth internet, yes. Tomorrow is Soap's second baby for letters, flight, school, graduation. Ah, okay. Will Soap be wearing that traditional graduation hat? The square one with a band hanging off. There's the stream title. Crash barrier? Alright. Scheduled myself Tuesday stream, so I don't actually interfere with... I scheduled myself a Tuesday stream, so don't actually interfere with me watching. Alright, watching it. Ah. Crash barrier between sidewalk and road may work too, but it may be the lane too narrow. True. But you're only going to see it from beneath, mostly anyway, or from a distance. So set up camera for little babies. They will now be visible next time I stream. Ah. Did they sign a public facecam contract? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Okay, now I'll do the same on the other side. And then I'll just have to remember to not attach the other splines directly to this, because that will not work. Because this doesn't have any sort of straightened bits. So it would just... Is that actually in the middle? No, that actually needs to go a little bit further over to about there. Yeah, I'm just getting it so that it's at the very highestmost point. Are they both signed? Good. Monitor on her and her baby's half. Okay, how does this look? Looks good. Although there is a tiny little bit poking through there. Can I fix that by moving this around a little? The answer is yes, surprisingly. Right, now I'll save. I'll put the railing on the other side as well. And then I'll probably put either a zebra crossing or a footbridge in there, I would think. Like a footbridge going over the other side, so you can cross over the road. I think a footbridge might be a better idea here. However, we shall see. Okay, final spline. Right, I think that looks quite good. Actually looks like you can cross over as a pedestrian as well. Now if I look for footbridge. Oh, I hadn't clicked in. Ooh. There we go. What about objects? I've got Bodmin Parkway one. I don't think that quite fits. No, this one's all the BR covered ones. No. Maybe this one. This one might fit. What about width-wise? Ooh, actually, it might just about fit width-wise. Yeah, well, yes and no. It does fit, which is good. However, it is pretty much the exact width. Which means... it means that I'll have to widen the sidewalk so that you can actually go around it as well. But maybe that could work. Also, what's the height here, like, in regards to, like, trucks? Yeah, see... that, to me... Actually, hold on, I'll put this on temp locked. That, to me, doesn't look like it's got enough clearance. Which is a bit unfortunate. Is that one any taller? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's the same asset. We've got these footbridge kit assets, but those don't look quite right. Ah, different widths, that makes sense. That is a little too big. Maybe these... although no, these ones are also too low. Maybe the footbridge won't work because they all look to be around that height. Although this one might be a little taller. Hold on, let me see. Maybe these ones work. So center. Okay. Right, this one. Now let's get this off of temp locked and delete it. If I put this here, and then one over here somewhere. This doesn't have to be exact yet. I think that there's a spline that attaches to these ones. Yeah, this one. Connect these. Height-wise. Ah, look, this one's got clearance. Clarence. Plus I can change the width however I like. So I think that'll work quite nicely. Although I will have to actually rotate these so that it fits straight on. Right. Now that makes three of us without them. Hey, who let Fox in? Is it yours, Safari? Can you delete the footbridge? Yes, I know. I didn't want to delete it yet. They're just having wait. Yes. Ivy Bridge footbridge. Ivy Bridge footbridge. I built that Ivy Bridge one as well. Lovely. There we go, that one. Yes, that I put down. Looks good, but doesn't fit here. Oh, I love the slight curve on the footbridge though. It would make it more difficult to construct though. It looks unique, but it would make it just more difficult to build, which isn't a good thing. Ah, get out again. Okay, we'll let the fox out again. Yeah. Okay, now it's time to connect this with this. Yeah, alright, yeah, true. Yeah. If you say yeah, sure, then that has very different connotations than if you say yeah, true. You need to apply the height to that so that it actually connects properly. That goes straight. Yeah, sure. And that needs to go straight to about there, I think. And then I'll make the road come up to here from the other side. Because then I'll know how wide I need to make the lanes. And if it'll actually fit properly. Yeah, because this will have to come up to... Let's make it come up to there. Though I know that it's not got the precise angle the other one had, but should be fine enough. This is Boxton. Limaris Blue Eye Owl. Limaris? That's a fictional species? Good thing you told us. 'Cause otherwise we would have spent hours and perhaps even decades browsing the internet, trying to find some photographic evidence of this. Yeah, I will have to put in a straight section here because it just gets way too narrow there because of the curve. Okay, and now, so over on this side that just about overlaps, so I'll do the same thing here. And that needs to go up to about there. This Fluvian has got a high hoot. I mean, a high hoot is nice, but a high hood is also nice. I wonder how School's gotten on with his reskinning efforts. Alright, but this bit I need to straighten. Okay, I think this can work if I put in a straight section. Oh, watch out. Sorry, I didn't catch that. I said I wonder how School is getting on with his reskinning efforts. So if I make a straight section from about there to there, then put in spline points all the way along here. Come on. There we go. Across there. Now straighten all these, and then I need to space them properly. I will make the lanes slightly narrower. Because they are narrower on the bridge. Oh, you're trying to summon everybody. Well, maybe it'll work. Although, why aren't you trying to summon Eagle? Right, I see. Interesting. Yeah, those two need to be spaced out a little bit more. Okay, now I'll paint underneath, well, I'll save, and then I'll paint underneath, and then we can see what it looks like roughly. And it's okay if it looks a little odd with the lanes getting narrower, because, well, in some cases the lanes do get narrower in real life, and I think, yeah, I've definitely seen pictures. Also, you're only really going to see it from below, so it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Then I just need to realign the footpath, the footbridge, sorry. I want it to be on the outermost point. There. And then this needs to be rotated slightly like that. Then I'll want this to be on the outermost point as well. And that's actually already rotated how I wanted it to. Although it doesn't look too good with that. Although is that just, I think that's just in a bit of invisible track. Yeah, invisible spline. That's good then. That's pretty straight. And that still has lots of clearance. So there we go. Yeah, that looks good. It certainly looks like we're getting into the downtown areas. Shh, Buxton. Here, I'll let you go. I'll let you out, sorry. Okay. Freedom is about to be attained. That's good, that's good. Now I'll make this intersection because it is important. And I think I can just use the same height I used over on the other side. for this. I think these have the same height. I think. Okay, so I'll just do that. Is that lower down? There we go. I'll make this continue up to about there. Seems good. Now the sidewalk. Which, yes, I do have to manually put over on top of the bridge again as well. Which actually I think I should do first, because then I can align it to that. I didn't really have to go over there to get that spline, but it was quicker that way, because I was used to doing it that way. Now, if only I can locate the correct height. Is it just 9.7? Is it just that? I hope it is. It looks like it, yes. Glad that didn't snap. Okay, now I can align it. Okay, that's not got the exact same distance, but that's okay. Now, since this is already on a straight section, it should be fairly straightforward to line this. So just make those spline points touch. That one needs to go over a little bit. Now I just need to make the spline points go through all of these bits up to there, and these all need to be straightened. That one was already straight, which means that this one isn't. There we go. Yeah, sometimes it's the other way around, depending on which way around you place them. Now let's just quickly double check that all of these are in fact straightened. Yes, they are good. So now, in theory, I can just connect these up and it'll all work beautifully. Ish. Yeah, because it's going up, it's going slightly down on this side, so I need to add that there. Or actually, tell you what, no. I'll just add another spline point in there, and one in there as well. And then I can manually keep the distance as well, which is quite useful. Oh, lovely. Man, uses diving board off of first story swimming pool. Man, to bone. I'm glad that didn't snap. Okay, how did I make the... Right, I had a zebra crossing crossing over that way. Which I do still think is a good idea. So I will put that in like so. And then put that into about there. And then that needs to be moved down a bit because it's floating. Now, do I want these going across on this particular one? I know I'm kind of doing it on a case-by-case basis, but I'm just trying to... I'm doing it so that the specific scene looks good. If I think the extra lines draw a bit too much attention or they don't work as well, I'll leave them off, but if I think they add something good, then I'll leave them in. In this case, I think that they add. Which I know isn't very realistic necessarily to have it vary between how it's done. However, in this instance, having the individual scene look good and fit well on a compositional level is more important to me than having that little bit be completely realistic. Then I'll add these stopping markers. Also, did I might need to add arrows. Yeah, that's the thing I forgot. I need to add arrows to the other intersections, but that shouldn't take too long given that we've got the nice JR ones. I'll just put in the traffic lights first, and then I'll do the arrows. He's another old mouser. He rested in a big central tree with my mother's greenhouse. We found him in a hollow in the tree. Nice. Holding a terrified conference on the ground. Mouse, we have a new villain to outsmart people. These fellas eat both insects, fish, and rodents. To give you a sense of scale, he is about the same size as Elusa's Valletta. And if the battle of wits turns out unfruitful, a new villain to outrun. Okay, place that there. And I'll need 2 of these one, 2 of this one. Well, that's not aligned properly, hold on. Need to straighten that out ever so slightly. Much better. Outsmart for your lives. Hoo-hoo. They better run. Well, yeah, but if they run, can't they all just hear them running? Although I suppose the owl might even hear the heartbeats, who knows? Right, arrows. I'll just quickly go get them from over here. Right, so Yeah, this one needs to be through. They're placed from, yeah, from where the base of the arrow should be outward. And then this one should be through and left. And then over here, we should have through on this bit, and then through and right over on that bit. Right, gotta go, bye-bye. Lights, check. Arrows, in progress, check. Errors? Hopefully not. Yeah, that does already look much better. Now I need to do the same thing here. So, right through needs to go here. And the normal through needs to go there. Then the normal through there, and then the left. Actually, no, that's not right, because it needs to, we need to have the other through one. We need to have the left through here, because it's a four-way intersection, so we need to have both. Yes, like that. And then this one needs to be a copy of the other one. Safari, I don't know. I'll be joining Lisa. See you all, click. Right, sure. So right through needs to go over on this side. And then just through going straight, although that's not completely aligned, so that should be better. Very good work, sire. Carol, still online at 5 AM. Okay, straight needs to be here. And then left through, oops, needs to go on this side a bit more, just like that. Although that is not aligned. Okay, good. Now, should I think I should extend the fence a little bit more. Although I should not try to attach it. Instead, just having it go up to this point, I think is good, because then it's going to be more likely that somebody actually uses the bridge, probably. Although, given the amount of traffic that is anticipated here, people are likely going to use the bridge anyway. So just about there. Does that look better? Yes, that actually does look better. And then you can cross over, and then it needs to go down. We'll need to do stuff over there as well. However, that is not for today's stream. Today's stream I really want to work on getting this bit done that you can see now, although we won't get the whole bit done, but we'll get as much of that bit done as I can complete. So now over here, I need to get the height from this point, 9.5, and then increase the sensitivity, the radius, and set that up here. And I do want to have an intersection here. I am now quickly... Actually, do I have any of that road left? Not handy, no. Maybe I can quickly find it this way. Yeah, that'll work. So I'll have this come down to that point there. Be straight. 512 feet, is that long enough? Is that too long? It's longer than the other one. Yeah, it should be a little less long, to about maybe there. Yeah, because we'll want to have that be a road going off that way with a block size. So having it come down first before the intersection is a good idea. And then we'll want it to go straight ahead down to about there, probably. So then we've got two ways of getting up there, and that'll also block the view a little bit, which is helpful. Right now I just need to align the terrain height as best I can to these points. And then it's time to, well, to place down more splines. Should I? Yeah, I'll put in the sidewalk first. And where was the point that it came down to? About there. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And this bit definitely needs to be straightened. Also aligned. That's a bit too close. And I'll use the non-overtake ones here as well. Also, Trainz, I like that you've styled the colors of the lights behind URL after the rulers and trains. Oh right, yeah, that is true and totally deliberate and completely and utterly intended and not at all happenstance. Knew it. Yeah, because of course that is the case. Of course it is. I mean, do you think it's just it would just be an accident? No. Of course, a thing like that wouldn't be an accident. I mean, how could it possibly be? Although I think I'll make this a little bit shorter on this side, so that I can have the sidewalk, the corner be around it a little bit more. Okay, so that needs to go to about there. And if that were to go straight across, it would end up there. Right, and then that's straightened. See, this is going much faster than when I first started with these painted roads, isn't it? Yes. Okay, and then I'll want a curved bit, well actually an S-shaped bit to connect down to that. And then this bit can just be the normal 3 tile wide sidewalk, which will follow the spline points of the white line. And yes, I'll add another bit of fence or something along there so that it's slightly less dangerous. Right, another little bit I need to fix here. Just basically just this coming down to about there, then curving around, and then another little bit to fill that in. I know we might get Z fighting, but you're not really going to look at this in any amount of detail anyway. Although that corner doesn't look great. Move that over a little bit, so it's a little bit smoother, because that will catch your eye. And then it'll say, haha, got your eye? Mwahaha. Now you shall have no choice but to look at my advertising. Because you grab them by the eyes, of course. Also, that didn't work how I had intended on the other side. I'll just have it like that. Save, and then paint, and then other splines, and then there we go. Rule number 35, thou shalt not advertise. Really? Also, rule. Rule of what? Rule of 3s? Rule of 10s? Well, definitely ain't a rule of acquisition. I mean, the revised rules of acquisition, probably. If you remember those. Oh, yeah. Right, and then we'll need a stop sign here. And a few more splines. So now here we can cross over, go down there, or go across there, which means that if you're coming across this way, well, I think just a normal normal walkway is enough. But I will have to lower well, move this down a little bit further to there to allow enough space to cross over. Although maybe I do want a sidewalk, well, a zebra crossing here, because this is a little bit of an awkward space to fill, I find. These are ludicrous. Yeah. No, it's all part of some master plan, of course. Yes. I mean, the revised rules of acquisition couldn't possibly meant as a serious update to the rules of acquisition, could they? No, they'd topple him off the Tower of Commerce on Ferenginar. Right. Cannot remove. I don't want to remove, I want to set. That's not straight enough. Now it's not aligned enough. 1 second. That's still not aligned enough. If only the spline points could be disabled completely. That looks pretty good. Yeah, surely. Okay. That looks quite nice. So now let's make this intersection here. And by doing so, I think I will just connect this up straight away, and then bring. Actually, yeah, I'll put in the stripes first, and then I will make the rest of the intersection around that. Make a skull, welcome. Hi, and Peter back. I'll be looking. Sure. How are your reskinning efforts going? Or not, I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you. Haven't found the motivation yet. Oh well. I'm sure you will at some point. Be right back. Okay. I've nothing against that. You can return whenever you like. Did I straighten that one? No, okay. So, now I will bring over the rest of the splines. To about there. Ooh, that one's also not straightened, apparently. Hello, Henry. Welcome. How are things? That one really should be straightened, but I guess I'll just split the spline points, because that way I can straighten it while still keeping the other bits straightened as well, without them influencing each other. And then I'll just bring this ever so slightly further down to about there. And I'll realign the other spline points, and then I can just very easily connect them together with more splines. Like so. I'm hoping to get a Trainz PRR FG1 or NW Class A in about a year, because Mum banned me from buying any engines. Well, I hope that you get the purchases you're looking for, and I hope that your money will be spent wisely. Okay, I do need to add in another supply point in on the the white stripes. Move those over a bit. I'm a big Penzi and NW fan. Also UPRR and Southern Pacific. Yeah, those are all very interesting railroads. Or were, I suppose. Does that look straight enough? No, I need to add another little spline point there to straighten that. And then I can align it properly. Like so. That looks much better. But the Union Pacific Railroad does still exist. Union Pacific, yes. But Union Pacific is not one that Henry mentioned. Unless you... Oh, right, of course, sorry. You meant the Union UPRR, the Union Pacific Railroad. I thought you meant something else. Wasn't there a narrow gauge one called that as well that had the same numbers? I might just be... I might be mistaking it for something else. Hello, good monkey. Just got a single GG1, and then there will be no more room for any other loco. Just get one, right? Oh, thanks for following. Just get a single GG1, and then there will be no more room for any other loco. Depends on how big your layout and or desk / shelf is. Yeah, numbers, same numbers. Letters, I mean, characters. Characters is the one I meant. Because I was about to say letters, but then I thought about the registration numbers of locomotives and seeing those letters on there, and that's why I said numbers, even though I meant letters. Okay, I guess characters. DNRG? No, that's the one. They're quite huge, aren't they? Yes, hello. GS4, FF3, K4 and J class are my favorite classes from the respective railroads. Let me quickly look up the GS4. So I'm not completely sure. Oh, that one, of course, yes. Yeah, the GS4 Daylight. Very nice. Yeah, the FF3 for Trainz simulator is also quite nice. Very realistically made. Also, I'll get rid of this ruler because it is just in the way. It used to be useful, but now it's just in the way. Like a lot of the rulers in trains. 4449. Or before that, yes. Southern Pacific Railroad, GS4 4449. Union Pacific Railroad, FF3 844. Pennsylvanian Railroad, K4 1361, and Norfolk and Western Railroad, J class 611. 611 class J. Did you know that the 611 class J has or the class J specifically has more than one song written about it? You can find them on YouTube, or at least you could a while ago. I'm not sure if they're still available. You might enjoy those. That's good enough, I think. I'm a railroad history buff, if you couldn't tell. Yes, of course. Of course. By Smokebox, yeah. Nice. That is just in the way, like a lot of the rivers. I have Trainz 2009, and it is, in my opinion, the best. And I have a lot of faceless OCs. Why? So when you say, in your opinion, Trainz 2009 is the best, do you mean... Actually, I forgot to add the thicker lines here. I still need to do that quickly. Do you mean the best version of Trainz, or do you mean the best train simulation game, or... What specifically do you mean by that? Here's one. Yeah, the song. Thank you. It's the only one I could get. Ah, right. If you like to use 2D tree assets, for example, or 2D grass and stuff like that, then I would suggest using Trainz A New Era, because that still has the old lighting engine, or the old lighting system that... Oh, come on, I can't see that properly. Yeah, that still has the old lighting engine where the actually, tell you what, I'll just bring this all the way across here, where the 2D objects still look good. Because in TRS-19, if I just look for JVC, are there any JVC trees installed here? Yeah, actually, that's a 3D one. That one? Yeah, that one, why not? So this JVC tree, for example, you can see from this angle it looks pretty good. But as soon as you look at it from another angle, it doesn't look great. Or this one might be a better example. So you can see that that seam is very, very obvious because of the lighting engine. Because in TRS-19, 2D objects are lit physically, so you've got a shadow side, you've got a light side, whereas in previous versions of Trainz, the light used to kind of shine through and illuminate the face, kind of the same on both sides, depending on where the light came from. Now it's rendered like two different faces, which means that a lot of the old, really good 2D tree assets, like these ones, like the JVC trees, don't look that great anymore. However, if you are very fond of using those assets, I would suggest using Trainz A New Era at maximum, so as like the latest release. However, if you want to use a version of Trainz that is a bit more modern, that supports many more of the new assets and that, that basically, then I would suggest using either TRS-19 or TRS-22. You'll probably, for longevity's sake, it's probably best to go straight to TRS-22 because it should be backwards compatible with TRS-19, so at least as far as I know, any routes... Hold on, I'm looking for a specific tree asset, and I'm not finding it, oddly enough. Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah, so backwards compatibility, yeah. So routes and assets, well, most of them anyway, at least as far as I know, should work in TRS-22 that work in TRS-19. The only reason why you may want to use TRS-19, well, main reason why you may want to use TRS-19 is if you're making Trainz routes and you want compatibility with TRS-19. So, for example, if you're making a Trainz route and you want to submit it as paid DLC via the Trainz Content Creator program or something like that, then it might be a good idea to, at this point, still make that route in TRS-19 so that all the Trainz users who have bought TRS-19 but aren't upgrading to TRS-22 can still access it. And if backwards compatibility is actually a thing. And I do actually very much like how that tree looked there, so I'm actually going to replace it with one of these ones over here. Maybe this one would be a little bit more accurate. Maybe I can put two of them inside each other and move one of them down to get a little bit more of a fuller look. Yeah, that's really good. That's really nice. I really like how that looks there. Coming down that way. By the way, the railroad I'm working on now, the route, is almost finished. If I zoom out, you can see this is it. All built on stream except for that one base pod, which was the first one. And all that's left to do now is finish the scenery on this bit and then build the terminus, which will be here with the junction. And then the route will be finished. Except for updating a few bits of scenery that are a couple of years old. But yeah. Right, I should probably read a little bit of chat because otherwise it'll pile up. Right. Alright, the only one you can get. Ballad of the 611. Also, one of my OCs has a War Baby paint and a Daylight paint scheme. His name is Dan. He's a GS4. I see. Would be brilliant if they added a spline points opacity slider in Trainz. Spoken like a true revolutionary. Ah, nice. Although I'm not quite sure. Does he wear the War Baby livery or the Daylight one? Bows, thank you. He has two different models. One is for 1945, the other is like 1950 onwards. So your OCs, your original characters, your OCs, do you have like a shared world building? Like a shared world that they all exist in, and do you write stories for them, or is it just you invent these characters just for the sake of it? I'm just curious. I got him from Jointed Rail. There's also a great GS4 on the DLS, though I think that's only compatible with GS19+. I didn't think about that before. Jointed Rail's GS4 has handrail options. Handrail options! Yeah, shock! Yes, those are actually two different emotes according to Twitch. Nope, can't believe it either. PRR FG1 is a fictional class that almost existed. Steamer, yes. Routes are never finished. You always find something to improve later on. I mean, you know, there's the old saying that art is never finished, it's only abandoned. I think that is also true in Trainz, for Trainz routes. However, actually I need to find a little spot I need to work on next. Right, so the next thing I want to do is make this road connect up back here, and then I'll want to put in the intersections next, and that includes underpasses, although I'm not entirely sure that I'll need one between these 2 points. Maybe one. Although probably not actually, because this is going down to street level. Yeah, that's why I didn't do it, and I don't want to put in another bridge, so I will only have the intersections going out to the sides, not crossing over again. Okay, so let's do that. But yes, Marquee. I think that definitely applies to Trainz routes as well. So is that... actually, that should be fine. Should be fine. 2 days later. It was not fine! Also, is that... Oh, right, yeah, because it's got the fixed height over here. Can I get rid of the fixed height here? Would that mess things up? The answer is no, so that's good. But yes, I do think that definitely applies with Trainz routes as well. And while I see the appeal of just keeping on working on the same route for years and years and years and years. And by that I mean working on it with the amount of time that you can, like a reasonable amount of time you can dedicate to it per week or something like that. Or where you can do a whole bunch of stuff in one go. Because while I have worked on the MVR for years at this point, like it has been years since I started working on it, it is a bit different because, actually that didn't connect. That's why that looked odd. It is a bit different because this is only built on Livestream, so I'm not making not nearly as fast progress as I would normally. So while I can see the potential desire to continue working on a route like you are doing with Cornish Railways and just keeping on improving that and expanding and improving and expanding, after I've worked on a project for a significant amount of time, especially if I'm working on it, should that be, yeah, I'll straighten these bits, then I just want something fresh, usually. Also, I do have to put in another little straight bit on the end. Although that is already straightened, which means that I don't need to put another. Okay, that should theoretically work. I just want to bring this closer a little bit to about there, just so that it can run alongside in a straightened manner. Yes, I do realize it's a little bit closer on that side than the other side, but that's fine. Yeah, like for example, with the Haddoncourt tramway, I worked on that for a few months, I think. And while I really enjoyed making that, I don't think that I would have enjoyed continuously working on that with the same amount of time dedicated to it per week for much longer, because by the end of it, it really did feel like it was time for that project to finish and for me to focus on something else, something new, something fresh. Now, I don't feel like that about the MVR, probably because I'm not actually working on it for that concentrated amount of time, because it's, well, actually, do I have to? I think I need to put another supply point in there because that is not aligned properly. Because it's only for 2 hours per stream. Also, which bit of this is straightened? The answer is the bottom bit. Which means I need to straighten that and that and that and that and that. Although, actually, hold on. Did I just not straighten the white bit? Hold on, 1 second. Is that what the issue is? No, that's definitely not what the issue was. Yes, I will just re-add those spline points in here. Just so that the width can be yes, persistent? Whatever word works for this, you know what I mean. Consistent, that's the one I was looking for. Yes. Shades, will you link the Trainz live playlist in the MVR's description? Probably, yeah. Yes. Dan has met several other of my OCs. However, I have not written written episodes for them. Episodes. So you are thinking in a probably Thomas the Tank Engine inspired manner, are you not? I even have an OC with WKNS's 65's whistle. He's called Alan, and he is a national coalboard 040 ST. ST saddle tank? Wait, 2 days later? You're planning to stream Trainz on Tuesday? What do you mean? I don't know what you're referring to. When was he built? Around the same time as sometime in the 40s, 60s. Have you heard of the Western Pacific GS64? Sorry, I don't think so, no. When I've worked on a route for years and years, I just want some peace and quiet. Basically, think SPGS4s, but without the Mars lights and with elephant ear smoke detectors. Okay. Yeah, Jared Fan offers freeware of those on his website. Nice. Skilly Southern? I don't know. Trainz, you had said, I'm sure it'll be fine. 2 days later. It was not fine. Oh, right, yes. It's been almost a year since the last Con Trailways update. I do need to play another like showcase, that's the word I'm looking for. Another showcase session on that in good weather with the updated route as well. However, at this point I really just want to focus on getting this finished. Although, Marky, when do you think the next update might roll out? Also, I'm getting a little cold, so one second, I just need to put something on. Enjoy the snow while you wait. Right, I'm back. Also, I do quickly, just so you remember how I said that this is all like the entire route is being built on stream. Well, all of those streams are actually archived on YouTube there. In case you're interested. Americanist Snum. Not sure. Maybe in a few weeks or a month. Which included rebuilding Saltash and Plymouth. Yeah, so, I mean, how about this? When the next update rolls around, then I'll do another showcase, because I do want to explore it in good weather conditions, and I do want to have a look at all the updates myself. How does that sound? Snom, or rather snoom, as it would be said in English, probably. Right, so this all looks pretty good. Except this, but it still is oddly... I think it's just this angle that's not completely right. Yeah, that's the main issue. This needs to be brought over slightly. That's much better. Yes, that would be great. I need to update some of the sessions as well. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. Although I do actually still have sort of Polaris to do as well. I'll do both. I'll do both. Right, so now it's time for intersections. Let's make this crossover first. Is this going to run steam engines, by the way? Yes, mixed. This is supposed to, this route is designed to work in the 50s/60s, mostly 60s, but I want to have a bit older rolling stock and locomotives on here as well. So yes, it'll be mixed steam and diesel transition era, and I'm going to repaint the locomotives, at least the ones that I can find permission to, with my own fictional reskin, which I have yet to design. So there you go. Yep. Oh, there, no, come back. I didn't mean it literally. There you go. Yes, thank you. Gotta be careful what you say these days. In more ways than one, of course. Right, so let's just have that come up to about there, probably. Seems good. Correct. So when Dan was in his Wababy? Alright, I mean daylight, not Wababy. I mean, according to what you said, yes. Yeah, on this map we do. I will say what we've got still some time left. I can do a little quick fly through of some of the areas if you're interested. So because this is the southernmost end of the route, where it's in through a city called New Penzance. It's just a little laggy currently because I'm streaming and there's a lot of detail. This does actually all have scenery on it. It just needs a moment to all load in, as you can see. Yeah, because we've got this industrial district here with street running and stuff like that. I don't want to wait for it to all load in because that'll take a while streaming. And I just want to show you a little bit of the highlights of some of the scenery. Over here, for example, I'm really quite happy still with how this tunnel turned out. Hold on, it's not loaded in correctly. Let's just give it a moment. By the way, what do you think of a Union Pacific FF3 OC named Legend? I mean, I think the name works quite well, given that the FF3s were, well, one of the FF3s was the last steam locomotive ordered by Union Pacific. Yeah, there we go. I'm still really quite happy with how this turned out. So yeah, so we've got this branch going along here, which services a cement mill, well, concrete cement production plant, and then it continues through here and eventually goes to a paper and pulp mill back here, and then we've got portals at the end, and then the other, so that's just that little branch going that way, and then going along the main line we've got a few farms here, and even a little bit on the right we've got a sugar plantation, so sugarcane, and a little yard to service that. So that's over here. You can see the fields of sugar, very large fields, I would say, well, somewhat large fields. And you've got a little area back here with a little shed and sidings and stuff like that. And then the main line, so that's just this little area down here. The main line continues that way. Another farm where you can load up grain. And then here it splits off. I've got the render distance set down only to 3 kilometers currently because of I'm streaming. But you can actually have a much better view back there of mountains. So the main line goes that way, but this isn't meant to be driven on because it just goes to portals at the end of this bit. The actual line that is modeled goes off along the left here towards the Milton Valley, after which the route is named. Cross over this lovely lifting bridge. and then it splits off over here. Let's go straight first. So it goes along this very broad valley, and it eventually goes to New Towerport, sorry, where we've got another industrial port area down here. The assets are still loading in. And this is where you get oil processing and stuff like that. And yeah, it gets very mountainous. Before you go, there's one more scene I would like to show you. One moment. There's one more scene, which is the dam up here. Because I did actually model a dam. And once it's loaded in, there we go. I'm really happy with how this turned out, because you've got the dam there, and they've got the railway going through here, going through a tunnel, again with custom entrances, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. 1 second. Much better. Yeah, and we've just got lots of mountainous scenery up here, basically. Hoover Dam intensifies. Yeah, it does look a little bit like it. But yeah, enjoy your supper. You might even say, I hope that it is super. Yes, yes, bye-bye, thanks for stopping by. I'm still really happy with how this tunnel turned out, shows Nicole. Yeah. I want to see Alan running services here. I love it. Looks like Alabama. Ah, great, great. Okay. Now back to the intersections. Yeah, I originally didn't want to do a tour again because I'm quite aware of us having less than half an hour left in the stream. And I wanted to get as much down I want to get as much down here done as I can. But then I thought, well, I mean, if he's new here, then I might as well. Might not have seen it before and might like it. Okay, so intersection. Gonna add in some spline points here, then connect it all up. That needs to be moved over slightly. And so does this. This needs to go back a little bit more. And I'll just quickly add some more spline points in here just to make this curve have a more consistent radius. Okay, and I'll do, actually I need to recenter this bit because that is no longer centered. And then I'll make the intersection over here, and then I'll put in all the other markings and stuff like that afterwards. Okay, that seems like a good spot. Just cut across. And I think these bits aren't, yeah, these bits aren't straightened anymore. So I've got to re-straighten some of these bits. Come on. Okay, I think I need to re-straighten, yep, need to re-straighten that. And then I can delete these bits. And we'll see which ones are actually straightened when I attach this over there. Yeah, that one wasn't. How about the white stripe? I don't think it is either. No. Does that actually still work? Ooh, actually that's slightly odd. Why is that? Why is that clipping? I guess the angle must just be a little off over here. No, that looks fairly good. How odd. I guess it might be... Hold on. If I add that there... Ah, that's fixed it. Good. It was because there was another straightened piece attached to the straightened piece of the sidewalk. Alright, now let's add the round... Well... I was about to say let's add the round bits for the margin, but... I think I'll add the crossing straps first, because that will determine how far back I need to take the margin. Right. Shadows. Oh, with this one you could have the crossing go over the margin. I could if I wanted to, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe with some of the crossings along here, but not this one. Yeah, I think this looks marginally better. Wink. Yeah, this one needs to be aligned a little bit more to the right, like that. Is that good? Yeah, if I look at it like that, it looks good. Like this, it still looks a little narrower down here. That looks better. Oh, Shadow of Khan, are you here as well? Hello. I'll quickly add a spline point in there and delete that one, just so I keep the alignment of the curve, which is quite important. Same thing with the... Actually, is it? Yeah, same thing with the yellow stripes. Mine? It's not morning. Actually, for you it is morning. Good point. Because you're an hour later. Like an hour later in the day. I mean... Nachtmorgen. That means night morning. Good night morning. Okay, just a little bit more to go. I mean, that... No, I've got to change that. I have to change that. It doesn't look right. This has to come over at the same kind of height. So it has to come up about there. Yeah, I've got to move that over. It just looks strange with the crossing stripes being so far on one side and not on the other. And it's not a big deal to move over anyway. Moin is a greeting common mainly in northern Germany, southern Denmark, Luxembourg, and northeastern Netherlands, and northern Poland. It can be used at any time of the day or night. Interesting. I've only heard that word being used as a like as a shortened version of morning. Like specifically morning or good morning. Although I suppose different areas are bound to have different linguistic flavors to expressions and stuff like that. Some quite high winds hereabouts. Audible through first floor window. I see. Same. Yeah, no, but that is interesting. That looks better. That looks much better, in fact. Okay, now I just need to add the wide ones. Where are they? This one. Ooh, no, that's the yellow one. I don't want the yellow one. I want the white one. This one. So, Sheriff Khan, have you started a Trainz route, or have you been working on a Trainz route recently? Because I know that you said you may want to play around with it again a bit. Okay, that looks good. Now traffic lights. I mean, if it's true, it's true. But to me, the thought of someone approaching a friend in the evening and greeting them with "Moin" seems a tad unusual. Maybe I'm just not used to it. Yeah, I mean, it's just different areas. Just different areas of different linguistical traditions, I suppose. If I've just understood your question acoustically correctly, I haven't been Trainz for a while. Right. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that is what I was asking. I was asking if you had used Trainz yourself or tried to make a route in Trainz yourself recently, because I know that is something you showed interest in. A tad, ein bisschen. Mm-hmm. Synonymous with a little or a wee bit or a bit or other similar words. Or a smidge or a pinch in some cases. Okay, that looks good. Now I'll just clean up the paint underneath here a little bit, or the texture work I mean, and then I'll do the markings on the other side, and then we'll see how much time we've got left. Also, I think I'll do the ones on this side first, because it's easier to bring out the... I thought I had been pressing shift. It's easier to bring out the single straight road to align the stripes correctly in terms of distance to the center, rather than having to pull in or push out both of the other streets. How does that look? Does that look vaguely straight? Sure. Yeah, I think there's just a little bit of an optical illusion going on with this because of the curve, I think. Although this one could be moved in a little bit closer. Right, so now, if you look at how much of the curve is being used here, it's to about there, I think. And if that goes straight across, then straight across from there to... Actually, I'll move it over a little bit. So from about there up to there. And now I can just move this closer a little bit, and that's all I needed to do. Except realign it, because now it's a bit too far to the side. Also, this isn't exactly straight. Much better. See, that looks good. Now I just need to add the thick lines and then the traffic lights, and then these two intersections will be done. Except, of course, that I again forgot to add the arrows on this one, but those are easily added, as previously demonstrated on other intersections. Okay, does that look correctly aligned? The top one, yes, the bottom one, no. 1 second. Much better. Traffic lights. Actually, first save and then traffic lights. that needs to be moved closer. You can see that those are two separate splines rather than one thicker one. Now this needs to be moved up a little bit so that it's parallel. One more, and then the arrows. Okay, save. How does that look? Yeah, I've got to go to another tab on the right to actually get it to disable the spline points. If it doesn't do that for you in the settings, under interface settings, you can turn on limit contextual information. And that means that the spline points will only be on, well, among other things, it means that the spline points will only be on when you're actually on the splines tab, which is immensely helpful. I just need right through. Like that. Great. Okay, and we've still got a little while left. This is a bit random, but still. A German tavern name. Zur deutschen Zunge. That's an interesting tavern name. Ooh, actually the bridge. We didn't put in the bridge. The tracks are still floating. I've got to do that. A place where talk amongst the locals is encouraged. That's a fun way of putting that. Is that that? No, that's not the right. That's the road underneath. I need the actual bridge spline. That one. I know I didn't need to go that far to get it, but oh well. Actually, height, yes, height-wise, I need to get the spline height here. Also, Kango, do you remember not so long ago when this was where the map ended, right along here? Now we've got all of this stretching out all the way back here, and all the way over here, all the way back to here. Also, I do want to align this so that the bridge pillars don't collide, that the bridge pillars are aligned correctly. Yes, it was a Train Fever reference. Okay, that needs to be brought in slightly to about there, I think. And this one needs to be brought up a bit. Yes, and over a little bit as well. Just trying to align the pillars. And that looks good. Good enough anyway. And then I need to bring in the embankment slightly to cover this up a little bit. over on this side as well. Just a little bit. There we go. That looks quite nice. Although I do need to work with this bit a little bit, just so that the sidewalk isn't covered. Just smoothing that out a tiny little bit. Okay. Lovely. Except I want to use... I think I'll want to use the concrete texture for that. So I will have to quickly go back and get that. I think it was concrete that I used over here. This texture. Or is that just asphalt? No, it's cement. It's the third one. I do indeed. Those were the days of less completion. The cloud's bigger now. Bridge pillar collision. Too much curvature. Slope too steep. Grade too steep. Bridge pillar water collision. Also, Sheriff Khan, I'm not sure if you know about this, but Shardis has also made a Trainz route building tutorial series back in 2020. Have I? Oh, right, yes, of course I have, yes. Yes, of course I have. Yeah, most of the stuff in there, if not all of it, is still relevant because, I mean, some of the UI-specific things might be a little different in Trainz 2022, but I think the functionality is going to be pretty much the same still. At least like 90... I don't know, like 97% of it or something like that. Oh, you didn't know that? Ah, well, thank you, Kangafango. Thank you for doing my advertising work for me. Even though they're on YouTube for free anyway, but still. Okay, so we've got a bit less than 2 minutes. So I'll get a thumbnail and then we'll end. Thanks. Right. Brackets. Shred ice now. Psst. Where's my paycheck? You're paid. Oh right. Yeah. It'll be in the mail sometime this decade, hopefully. Although I really can't promise. Okay. So. I mean, we really just made more intersections and stuff like that. That wouldn't really be a good place for the thumbnail. Maybe over here somewhere. Yeah, but see, with these areas it's really tricky to get good thumbnails because all of this area, like we're continuing to do the same sort of thing over and over again, and so it tends to look the same on the thumbnails, and then that doesn't make for great variety. Come on, bridge, load in. Why won't the bridge load in? Maybe scenery detail too high. Nope. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Maybe try that. Do you need max headroom on those bridges? Maybe. Close up of the footbridges? Footbridge? Perhaps. Although I may want to have a little tree in the corner just for a little added color. And yes, color with OU. Although that's a little bit too far over. I'll have to move that slightly. I don't want it to cover up too much of the bridge. Is color with no OU sometimes pronounced as collar? I don't believe so. Actually, yeah, this needs to be a bit lower because that was on the same line as the buildings back there. So I think that fits much nicer. Auditorily, it is the teal collar. Collar. I don't think so. Right, so that was fun. Thank you all very much for watching. Again, starting not tomorrow, but the Monday after, all the live streams are going to be the archives are going to be deleted on Twitch, and are only going to be available on YouTube from the beginning. So after I've downloaded them, they're going to be deleted. So yeah, watch them there instead, please. With that being said, thank you all very much for watching, and good night, everybody. It's lovely seeing you all. Bye-bye.